Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, February 18. Costly roaming charges across the region will soon be no more. Today, CARICOM Chairman Prime Minister Mia Mottley delivered the good news as she addressed the opening of the 31st CARICOM Intersessional Meeting at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Centre. Describing the current rates as punitive, Mottley said existing rates were bankrupting citizens when they travel.
Prime Minister Mitchell, who is the lead Prime Minister in this area, has, along with the CSME team, worked with the operators to shortly announce a modest fixed single CARICOM roaming rate for all CARICOM nationals to cover the cost of data for popular social media platforms. Including those that offer messaging and calls. The rate will include an amount of local and regional voice calls, and over time, this CARICOM rate will include more services. This is what it means to be family taking decisions. At Castries, we recognize and reflected that the roaming rates within this region are punitive and that in many instances people are bankrupted when they go from country to country because they have no idea as to what these roaming rates will present themselves to be.
Prime Minister Mottley also used the occasion to press her colleague heads to get serious about integration. Noting the region is at an interesting point, she urged member states to focus on tackling challenges including climate change, crime and health as one united bloc.
That family comes before ideology. This is a critical moment for us as a community to understand that whether the challenges be with respect to chronic NCDs, which is the insidious killer among too many of our people, or whether the challenge be the more talked about and definite existential crisis of climate, affecting us not just through hurricanes, as it literally has torn many of our countries apart, from Dorian with Bahamas to Maria and Irma with Dominica and Antigua and Barbuda and the British Virgin Islands and too many of our countries to mention, or whether it is violence that has genuinely become a public health disorder with a level of killings across our community that is unacceptable for any community, any part of the world, or whether it is the challenges to our fiscal sovereignty, or whether it is the challenges to multilateralism that are taken and making aim at the integrity of our freedom of association as small groupings, we have to determine how best to confront these challenges.
Immediate past president of the 15-nation grouping, St. Lucia's Prime Minister Alan Chastanet, echoed Mottley's sentiments, saying the region has several challenging issues to confront.
Climate change, blacklisting by the EU, the adversities facing small island states in the international community, the ongoing situation in Venezuela, the withdrawal of correspondent banking services from the region, among others. Unfortunately, none of these issues have gone away, and it will be up to the incoming chairperson to continue to lobby on our behalf, because in most cases, the urgency is even greater.
CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin Larocque also added his voice to the unity call and stressed the need for the building of a resilient community.
To do so necessitates an all-inclusive approach that embraces the skills, talents and resources of the public and private sectors, labor, civil society, youth, and indeed the entire society. It also requires cooperation and assistance from our friends in the international community. These combined and coordinated efforts will serve us in good stead as we strive to build that resilience to combat the challenges that we face, most particularly the existential threat of climate change.
In other news this Tuesday, relief is on the way for residents in St. Philip and Christchurch who have been enduring water outages and low water pressure in recent days. Workers at the Barbados Water Authority have faced 6 months BWA officials said the burst was among the worst ever discovered, and they had anticipated that it would have taken a few days. Workmen completed the fix around 4 p.m. today, and the BWA says it will put water back into the distribution network via this main and monitor the situation closely. Government finally passed a law that allows it to charge a 2% foreign exchange fee on foreign exchange transaction. While the fee was implemented on July 17, 2017, the bill was not amended. Minister in the Ministry of Finance Ryan Strachan led the Exchange Control Amendment Bill 2020 debate today in the House of Assembly. He said that the amendment seeks to validate what was already done.
We see our new engagement in terms of this process and liberalizing the framework as an opportunity where, with aggressive intent, supported by a responsive financial system, to be able to mobilize resources that we can see strategically that these amendments would allow us to put Barbados certainly, in a good position.
However, Opposition Leader Bishop Joseph Atherley is adamant that the 2% foreign exchange charge will have a negative impact. During the debate, he warned it will hurt the average Barbadian and have an adverse effect on small businesses as well.
This measure will increase the cost to small businesses of doing their business. The honourable member for St. George South, I am sure, will lament that truth, that reality exists, that this measure will increase the cost of doing. It will therefore stifle or dampen attempts at self-endeavour and self-development in terms of business initiative.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
To regional news, rescue teams have found the wreckage of the single-engine aircraft that crashed into the sea on leaving the Douglas Charles Airport on Sunday night. However, they have not been able to locate the bodies of the 4 people who were on board the ill-fated flight. Local fishermen who are assisting in the rescue operations showed reporters the landing gear of the aircraft. Dominican officials say a bag and a passport have been found, and rescue teams have intensified their search in the waters in Marigot. On the international scene, health officials in China have published the first details of the more than 44,000 cases of COVID-19 in the biggest study since the outbreak began. Data from the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention finds that more than 80% of the cases have been mild, with the sick and elderly most at risk. The research also points to the high risk of medical staff. A hospital director in the city of Wuhan died from the virus today. More in this report from Reuters Television.
The head of a leading hospital in Wuhan has died of the coronavirus. Chinese state television reported that Liu Zhiming, the director of a hospital designated to treat virus-infected patients, died on Tuesday, making him the 7th health worker to fall victim. The number of new daily coronavirus cases in mainland China fell below 2,000 for the first time since January. But the World Health Organization warned that although Chinese data appeared to show a decline in new cases, any apparent trend must be interpreted very cautiously. The virus remains far from contained, despite China's lockdown of cities and tough curbs on travel, at great cost to the economy and global business. Singapore Airlines said it would temporarily cut flights across its network in the 3 months to May, as the epidemic hits demand for services in the Asian city-state, as well as through the key transit hub. The European Union Chamber of Commerce in China said the world's pharmacies may face a shortage of antibiotics and other drugs if the outbreak cannot be resolved soon, and accused Beijing of making supply chain problems worse.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.